Evening and welcome to the Town of Douglas Conservation Commission meeting for Monday, March 7th, 2022. Time is now 7 p.m. The first order of business, we have no mail. We have orders to be signed, a couple things. Meeting minutes, do you want to hold those?
We knock a couple out right now.
I'm sorry?
You could knock a couple out right.
Okay, all right. Yeah, because everybody's on at 7 anyway, so we're not going to be waiting for continuation. So, sure. Where would you like to start?
January 24th I did, and it looks fine.
Okay. Anyone else have any comments? Mike? No? Nothing? Okay, I'll entertain a motion.
I move to approve the minutes as submitted for January 24th.
Motion's made by Art, second by Mike. All those in favor?
Eric Harris, aye.
Mark Muttman, yeah.
Mike Rifle, aye.
Mark Mungem, aye.
Katie Dudley, aye.
Thank you.
And I also did the February 7th
Okay.
ones, and same thing, they look fine as submitted.
Okay, I'll entertain a motion.
I move to approve the February 7th minutes as submitted.
Motion made by Art, second by Mike. All those in favor?
Eric Harris, aye.
Mark Muttman, yeah.
Mike Rifle, aye.
Mark Mungem, aye.
Katie Dudley, aye.
Okay, thank you. You want to hold on the other two?
Those are the only two I did.
Okay.
I don't know if anybody else did.
Mike, did you look at July 12th or August 2nd? So in red are the revisions requested from the last time.
Oh, nice.
To clarify what actually, and Mark had that too.
The amendments we made.
Yeah, so I think Steve reviewed the tape and then edited it.
Okay, yeah, no, I remember this thing.
It was just a small portion in the beginning. I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to accept the July 12th meeting minutes as amended.
Motion made by Mark. Second by Mike. All those in favor?
Eric Harris, aye.
I'm going to abstain, I was absent from that one.
Okay. Mike? Yes or no? Aye?
Mike Rifle, aye.
Yeah, okay.
Mark Mungem, aye.
Katie Dudley, aye.
Okay, thank you. And then August 2nd. Did we review this one yet?
There's a draft.
The agenda.
I do. Did you not get one? Okay. Nope, you can have mine.
Yeah, we can share.
Yeah, also I have one on my computer when I get there.
If you want to hold off on
I
the
do
August
have
2nd one, I'll do it.
Okay,
Okay, nope, that's,
let's table the August 2nd.
okay.
Okay. Moving on to old business, public hearing continued, notice of intent, 148 Shore Road, new single-family dwelling, Joseph and Pamela Perone. Is anyone here presenting on behalf of this applicant?
I'm here.
Oh, okay. Name and address and,
Margaret Bacon, Civil Site Engineering, here representing the clients for 148 Shore Road. So basically, we've got a proposal from the town's consultant regarding doing a stormwater review at the site. So I had to run that by the client. I have a check that I'm gonna drop off to Steve tomorrow, along with the other appropriate documents for the consultant to review. So I guess I'm requesting a continuance until after that is
okay.
done.
All right, great. Anyone else in the audience, questions, concerns regarding this item, 148 Shore Road?
So Tracy, I'm not sure if it's applicable for this, but for Shore Road itself, I just sent you that email from Sally.
Yep, I have it in my hand. I can read it into the record. Dear Mr. Ziss, I'm writing on behalf of my sister, Dr. Jean Lawrence, who's too sick to observe this evening's Conservation Commission meeting. Jeannie was hoping to be able to speak briefly and make a request to the commission that the next meeting could include on the agenda a discussion of the continual flooding and environmental concerns on Shore Road and Wallen Lake. If this item could be added to next meeting's agenda, Jeannie and a few other area residents would like to be able to address the commission concerns. I know that you have been able to assist with other points of communication among the residents in the Douglas government, and I hope you will see this in time to act on it for next month. Thank you for your continuing assistance. Sincerely, Sally Bentley. So we have a draft. Yes, Steve?
I don't think that was for this NOI in particular. She was just sending, I think, an email in general on Shore Road.
Okay, it's all right. So, shall we put it on under discussion for the next meeting?
I have given everybody, so your heads up, a copy of what March 21st agenda will look like. It says draft on it in your package, just so you know what is already booked for the next meeting. A few of those items are items that I think will be continued from tonight under old business. Number 2 and 3, just because they're on tonight and I wasn't able to get out to the snow, but under new business, you can kind of see what we're up against.
Well, she requested next month. Does she mean next meeting in the letter or next month?
Next month, so she sent this 3/7 today at 6:07 PM. So let's, we can put her on for, under discussion for April 4th.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, Steve?
Okay.
Thank you.
All right.
And if you want to just respond back to Sally, saying that they're on for discussion. We're going to keep the comments brief because it's been an ongoing saga. So if there can be concise points of concern, that would be great. Okay. So, did I hear a motion to continue the public hearing for 148 Shore Road to March 21st, 2022 at 7 PM?
Well, I don't know.
It's April.
Well,
What?
do we want to do?
Oh, that was your whole, oh.
Yeah. Do we want to wait till March 4th? April?
Margaret, you good with April 4th?
Probably.
Okay,
Review will be done in time, so yeah,
Okay.
let's just go with it.
okay.
Four.
All right, I got it. So I'll entertain a motion.
I move that we continue the 148 Shore Road public hearing to April 4th
At 7 PM.
at 7 p.m.
Motion made by Art, second by Eric. All those in favor?
Eric Harris, aye.
Mark Motley, aye.
Mike Greco, aye.
Mark Mangum,
Katie Dudley, aye.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Margaret. We'll see you probably next time.
So,
Yes?
Yeah, she's got other stuff today.
Yeah, next moment. All right, next item, public hearing, continue notice of intent, 74 Main Street, Family Convenience Center, proposed fuel station and convenience store. On over.
Oh, good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
Hello.
We're going to time no see.
Yeah, a few weeks.
All right. So, yeah, should I start or?
Yes, absolutely.
Right.
Name and address for the record.
So Rob Lucier with CMG, 67 Hall Road in Sturbridge, Mass. So at the last meeting, I think we were discussing, there was a second peer review letter from the peer review consultant with the town. The big item, at least my memory, is that we were discussing just the soil issue in the stormwater basins. That was the big concern, which was addressed. We ended up sending in all the correct information to the town consultant, and McCarty Engineering agreed. So we actually received a clear peer review letter on February 22nd, and shortly after closed the project out in planning board. So there were a few minor revisions to the plan, as well as added or giving that information for the soils within the stormwater basins. I think the only items that were within the resource areas or within the 100-foot wetland buffer zones, I believe would have just been the street trees that were removed in the front, and then
The riverfront. The riverfront too. The orange.
Oh yeah, so street trees in this area.
And the
Yeah.
curbing, the driveway portion.
I don't think anything was changed with the curbing. I think that.
We wanted you to check the math at least, because that square
Oh.
footage seemed very high.
Yeah, that is correct. That's the number.
Okay.
Yeah, because the scale is very big.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
I think this is on the 30 scale.
Yeah.
So, yeah, so I did verify that. Wanted to make sure that the information was correct. So, and then the other thing too, we did remove the split rail fence that we were proposing around the basins as well. So that was the only other item. Resource areas.
Okay, the alternatives analysis comment. Site options within the town. We already did that, right?
Yeah,
February
we
7th.
discussed it
Yeah.
last.
Okay.
evening.
Confirm. Okay, so it was just the soils and then the fee calculation.
Yep, which
Okay.
that was submitted to the.
Okay.
Submitted, paid.
Yep.
Okay. This is a public hearing. Anyone in the audience have any questions or concerns regarding 74 Main Street? Okay, seeing none. Board. Question? Mark?
Nope, nothing from me.
Okay. Anybody want to make a motion to close the hearing?
So moved.
Motion made by Art to close the public hearing.
Second.
Second by Mark. All those in favor?
Eric Harris, aye.
Carl Bartley, aye.
Mike Greco, aye.
Mark Mangumai.
KG Dudley, aye.
Okay. I'll entertain a motion to issue the order.
Yeah, I move that we issue the order and this is the address, 74 Main Street, sorry,
Motion made by Art. Issue with our standard conditions.
standard conditions, yeah.
Second by Mike. All those in favor?
Eric Harris, aye.
Carl Bartley, aye.
Mike Greco, aye.
Mark Mangumai.
KG Dudley, aye.
Okay, congratulations.
Thank you very
Do
much,
it.
everybody.
Have a
Thank
good
you,
night.
everyone.
Greatly appreciate all the assistance.
Those are typed up and ready to go.
Okay, we'll sign it so you can come pick it up tomorrow.
Perfect.
All right.
That's awesome. Thank you so much, everybody. Thank you again.
Thank you.
Thanks.
I hope another marijuana place doesn't end up there.
It's gonna be okay.
No, no,
Definitely gonna be
I mean,
Oh, the
the
other
existing
spot?
one,
Oh.
yeah. The rumor.
Lot of
Spot
rumors
they're
going
leaving
around.
behind.
Between Uxbridge and even Medford, I mean, they're everywhere now.
Oh, I don't think anything can go in the old spot that was, because it's all in front of the riparian zone.
Existing, no, they just use the existing.
Okay.
You can build up.
See what?
Okay, next next item on the agenda is public hearing, continued notice of intent, Whiten Reservoir Dam Operation and Maintenance Manual within, Whiten Reservoir Watershed District. Is there anyone here presenting for the project?
Yes, hi, this is Lauren Buck, Senior Environmental Scientist at Park Corporation. And here with me tonight are Matt Lyle, Brian Dutra, also from Park Corporation, and Paul Couette, applicant from the Reservoir Watershed District. So we, just to pick up where we left off, I believe it was February 7th we were here last. At that time, we had continued the meeting. We received some comments from DEP, Natural Heritage, as well as the Conservation Commission. And we had provided some responses in a letter dated February 16th. We had also provided earlier responses on February 7th, but then we had updated the information to reflect some more detailed calculations that we had had. So that was dated February 16th and was also sent to Natural Heritage and DEP. So at this time, we have not received any reply from Natural Heritage. I'm unsure if they typically allow themselves a 30-day window time to respond to a second round of comments, but we've not heard anything back. And the DEP comments were fairly minor and mostly pertained to allowing the GSP to provide comments. So if the commission would like, I can go through all of the comments and our responses, or if there were certain topics that you would like to cover of the specific comments, we can certainly get into those.
Yeah, I was looking for, this is Katie Grace Dudley. I submitted some comments for Conservation Commission, and I'm looking through my emails. Did we get either a new copy after my comments were incorporated, or were my comments rejected? I just didn't see the feedback, and I might just be missing it.
I believe, so did you have 3 comments?
Yep.
You included in the February 16th letter, we have addressed the Conservation Commission comments at the end of the letter. So if you like, we can go over those ones first. Does that make sense?
I would appreciate that. Yeah, it's just the 3.
Do you have
Yeah.
February 16th letter?
I don't.
I don't. That's what I'm getting at. Is like I didn't. That's why I said if we can talk through, and I didn't get a new Dropbox drop unless we're supposed to use the SharePoint, which I don't have a Microsoft password. So I mean, on me if I didn't set up the account. But
Steve,
Yeah,
did we get a copy of that letter from last meeting? The new letter?
February 16th?
No. Yeah, because our last.
I think I saw an email last week with all the new information, with the agenda a week before.
so
Get that?
I have an email from March 1st that references the dam and reference manual, but there's no attachment, and there's not like a description of how my comments were or were not incorporated. It references the DEP comments, which is nice.
Yeah, so if we could just review the 3 comments by Katie Grace, that would be great.
Sure.
Thank you.
Yeah, I can go through those right now. So those were at the end of the February 16th letter. Actually, we'll see that one in a chance, but I can review them right now. So the first comment was the definition section is helpful, which should include the following: settled aquifer, drawdown, suicide, stop loss, and spillway. So we revised the O&M manual to include all of those terms in the definition section, and then the revised manual was provided in the email with the updated materials.
Okay.
Then section 3 under reporting section, please specify who the reports will be distributed to. So section 3 was updated to reflect that information. Then there was a comment for the response in section question 2A in the February 7th letter from PAR. The report should include the requirement to notify the Town of Douglas, Conservation Commission, and Natural Heritage in the event of proposed nuisance vegetation treatment. And in our letter, in an earlier comment, NHGSP also talks about this, is that any actual management of the nuisance vegetation in the impoundment would require notification, and we understand that would be a separate notice of intent. There no intention to do any aquatic nuisance vegetation management at this time, and there have been surveys done, the most recent one being the summer of 2021. There were no invasive species found, but in the future, if they were to do any aquatic vegetation management, it would be submitted as a separate notice of intent. And then there was another comment, the response to question 2C, which was one of Natural Heritage's comments, does not address downstream flow monitoring. As the question recommends, it reflects on low point outlet measurements. The operation and maintenance manual should include monitoring and reporting procedures for downstream flow that would include a location for monitoring with its cross-sectional area. So our response to that was section 2.3.7 of the plan details the monitoring procedure during the implementation of the drawdown, inclusive of statements limiting the discharge to 32 CFS. During the drawdown, once flows are below the spillway crest, the only flow into the downstream channels from the low-level outlet, measuring the gate opening and utilizing standard formulas to calculate the flow based on depth of water and conduit dimensions provides the best point for monitoring. The monitoring program as described within the plan goes further to describe visual monitoring of the region immediately downstream of the dam for erosion damage and overtopping. The stream channel downstream of the dam is an irregular natural channel with a variable bottom, variable width, and earthen slope banks which are influenced by boulders and vegetation. These conditions do not represent conditions conducive to measuring flow based upon a pre-established uniform cross-section downstream of the dam. For that reason, tables calculating discharge from the dam based upon reservoir level and gate opening have been provided in the plan, table 4.3 and 4.4, and have been utilized since the plan's adoption in 2011. So those were 4 Conservation Commission comments. If you wanted to discuss any of these further, we'd be happy to.
Yeah, no, thank you. And I appreciate you walking through those. So, understood that you have no plans to address nuisance aquatic vegetation anytime soon, and I understand that you know that it's a notification, but you didn't put in the plan that there should be notification in the event of nuisance aquatic vegetation treatment? My only concern is, you know, in my line of work, when we put together a plan, we want to make sure we're addressing down the road to make sure that, you know, future caretakers of the space know what the processes are in place. And so I just would have thought it would have been wise to put it in the plan.
That was not provided in the plan.
We can add that language into the plan to make sure it's clear. But again, this plan is established for the operations of the dam, not for the maintenance of the reservoir itself. But we can add that language in there for you if that's required.
Yeah, that was just my concern. I understand that you all know that, and everybody in this meeting knows that now. I just wanted to make sure. And then,
It was embedded, like.
It was embedded.
Yeah, I know.
Huge size.
I know.
okay. Nope, that's
I
fair.
got more coming in.
Thank you. Okay. And so it is your intent then that your monitoring of outflow, you're planning to do that from the low point. Where was that, the exit of the dam? You're not planning to do any monitoring downstream?
That's correct.
Besides the visual monitoring, I did note that.
Yes, for erosion and damage to the channel bottom.
Okay. All right.
So I guess the big issue is not hearing from Natural Heritage. So did anyone reach out to them within the month to see if they were satisfied with the revisions and any correspondence from Natural Heritage?
Let me just check. I did send an email out pretty recently, just informing them we have the hearing coming up. We would appreciate comments.
What's that?
Let's see.
We sent that out last week.
March 1st. So that was Tuesday. So yeah, at that time we had forwarded the email from DCR, Office of Dam Safety. We had forwarded that to everybody. So HSP, DEP, and the COMCOM. And then in that email, I mentioned, okay, if there's any further comment, we would appreciate them in advance of the meeting. I have not heard any further comment, but again, I'm not sure if Natural Heritage is giving themselves more time. I know when I originally sent the email, Misty and the reviewer had a good vacation email up, so I think she was out for 1 week. So it might be that she hasn't gotten to the comments yet.
Okay, thank you. Board questions?
Should we wait to hear from them?
Yeah, I didn't even get an acknowledgement of receipt from her, but
I think we should wait.
I mean, their comments were very in-depth, so I would, that's what I would recommend. So the other caveat is the refilling. So what is the plan, what's the schedule for the refilling at this point?
Paul, could you answer that? I know it's coming up very quickly, and the ice, as of today, is probably gone at this point.
Paul Cottle, 150 Northwest Main Street, White Reservoir Water District Chair. We're still iced in on the East Cove, so we do not, we will not raise water level until we are totally iced out. We still have a little ice near the dam, but I would say in the next week to 10 days, we should begin to start the refill. If not, depending how the season goes, it can be a challenge. So, like I said, within the next 10 days, we would actually start our refill. We did a measurement today. We're around 87 inches, so we're slightly below our benchmark, but we had to control the ice shield because of all the rain that we had. We were getting a little lifting, so we were keeping the water level as best we can to hold the ice shield and not cause any damage to the masonry structure on the dam. Worst thing to happen is to let the shield lift, and with the heavy winds we have, stop piling ice up. So I would say in the next week to 10 days, we'll be ready to start the refill.
Okay, all right, thank you. So my suggestion would be to allow for the refill and wait for Natural Heritage to respond, to firm everything up and issue the, okay. So I think, so what we're discussing is waiting for Natural Heritage's response, but allowing for the refill to begin once you want to start it, once the ice is gone. Is the applicant, is the applicant agreeable to that? I would think that if we put you on for the 21st, it should be a very quick meeting. If you end up not hearing from Natural Heritage, though, I would prefer to bump you to the April 7th or April 4th meeting. So if you could let Steve know, and then you guys don't have to come if you didn't hear anything from Natural Heritage.
Okay. The district does have some additional maintenance that they were contemplating for this year to follow up on some inspection work they did last year. And it includes some repointing within the wet well chamber itself, activities that are identified within this plan. They're not scheduled, I don't believe, for the next 30 days, but it is something that they do want to get done this year. We'd like to make sure that if we don't hear back from Natural Heritage at this next meeting, if that might be contemplated at that time so the district can make proper arrangements.
Yeah, that's fine. But I think we should try our best. They're going to be at 60 days for response, so.
I agree. We'll be hounding them on a regular basis.
Gentle push. Yeah. Okay, so is the applicant good with continuing this to the March 21st, 2022?
Yeah, we, as long as we can start our refill as soon
Yeah.
as we deem it safe, as soon as we deem it safe to do.
Yes.
So that could be, as soon as we see the ice condition go on, then we'll start the refill.
Okay, yes. We're-
And, during the refill, as we've done in the past, we maintain our minimum flows, but, I just want the board to rest assured, we don't do like a shutdown here. We keep our flows and we monitor them, and we do turn in our records at the end of every, beginning of every month.
Yep, same as you've been doing for the last
Same as we've been doing. So,
bunch of years, yeah. Okay, thank you. Yep,
Nothing changes.
right, good.
Thank you for your time this
I
evening.
will, yep, I'm just gonna call the vote, so, yep. Motion to continue.
Yeah. Do we have to include the part about the refill? Okay, I move that we continue the Whiten Reservoir Dam operation request to March 21st at 7 p.m.
Motion made by Art, second by Eric. All those in favor?
Eric Harris, aye.
Art Monmouth, aye.
Arco, aye.
Mark Mangum,
Gigi Dudley, aye.
Okay, thank you. We'll see you in a couple weeks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, next item, public hearing, continued notice of intent, 280 U Street, new single-family dwelling, Evan Tatro, possible votes. Is there anyone here presenting?
Yes, there is.
Okay, name and address, please.
Margaret Higgins, engineering. I'm here to represent Tatro for the property at 280 U Street for a proposed driveway for a single-family home.
Okay.
Oh, at the last meeting, there was some comments regarding some wetlands up at the end of the lot. So I did go back out and flag those and locate them, and I have a revised plan. Steve, I don't know if you want to bring that up or you want me to?
You can bring it up if Caleb gives you permission. So right next
We
between...
do have it in our packet.
Between Katie and Mark is the plan. And then there's a plan between Art and Mike. There should be a plan. Yep.
Can you see that?
Yes.
Okay, so here,
No, we can't see the screen.
Oh.
I can see the piece of paper in front of me.
Yeah, it's old style, old fashioned way. Okay, so we double checked that southern corner there, right? That looked good to double check that septic, yeah.
Wasn't there a question about if we were close to a vernal pool?
Yep, that's also been checked. Oh, that's a slurry.
Is the vernal pool shown on this plan?
can you see that, the plan now?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay, so actually, here's the wetland. This is the edge of the BVW. Now, this is quite a large swamp, and I know on the mass mapper it shows a potential vernal pool. I was kind of surprised because I didn't know vernal pools went into
like here.
your wetlands. I thought they were supposed to be isolated that seasonally dry up. And if it, based on scaling off of the mass mapper, that vernal pool
47.
here, so it's still a good 50 to 60 feet from the edge of the BVW line.
It's how many feet? 50, 60?
I'd say it's about 60 feet off the edge of this wetland line.
Okay. And it's a potential anyway, so, all
Well,
right.
I qualify for a vernal pool anyways, but
Yeah, okay, yeah, they must have picked it up on the aerial.
so anyways, we revised the plan and now actually we moved the septic a little further away from the buffer zone, smaller house, adjusted the erosion control. I think that was basically most of the comments the commission had last time.
Yes.
Yeah, we ended up walking this site.
Good. Cart path is good and
Moved
solid.
the house and the septic?
Making it smaller and shifted the septic away from the buffer, yeah.
Wasn't give your comments, it was just a design change based on some other reasons.
Are we keeping the man cave?
Yeah, still there.
Still there?
The well house,
House.
Yeah, that's what they...
still there.
Okay, we can't really hear you, Margaret, if you said a comment after.
No,
You're breaking up. Okay. This is a public hearing. Anyone in the audience have any questions or concerns regarding 280U? Board, any additional comments? I'm not seeing any comments. No. Mark? Do you want the bigger one?
Go for it.
Lady Grace, anything? Anything?
Version.
Read this.
Small one.
Everything look good, Mark?
All right. No comment.
Okay. All right, board, I will entertain a motion.
Close public hearing? Mm-hmm. So move.
Motion made by Art,
Second.
second by Mike. All those in favor?
Eric Harris, aye.
Mark Hoffman, aye.
Director, aye.
Mark Montemai.
Gigi Dudley, aye.
Okay, I'll entertain a motion.
We'll approve the notice of attempt on normal conditions.
Issue an order.
Yeah, it's in order with our normal conditions. Nothing outrageous here.
Okay, motion made by Art to issue the order of conditions for 280 U.
Second.
Seconded by Mike. All those in favor?
Eric Harris, aye.
Mark Hoffman, aye.
Mike Greco, aye.
Mark Montemai.
Gigi Dudley, aye.
Okay, thank you very much.
Hey, thank you.
Have a good one. Bob, do you have your public meeting notice?
I would ask Michelle for Ashton.
Well, I need to read it, so. Hold on one second.
I didn't forget.
No? One second, Lord. There is another folder around, right?
I have the same things that you do, like
What is it that you're looking for?
the public notice.
All of them for, oh, yeah, all of them.
Do you have?
Probably. I'm just gonna look at those.
I'll have them right here, hang on.
All right, thank you.
I know Michelle will send Steve everything.
Yeah. I can pull it up on my phone also. And board, I'm just gonna take it out of order since Bob is here in person.
Oh, that's fine, yep.
Okay, so new business, 7 PM, public hearing, notice of intent, Douglas Water and Sewer Department. The proposed work is located at North Street, Gilboa Street, and Northeast Main Street in Douglas and Lackey Dam Road in Uxbridge, Mass, and involves the installation of new water line, water main, and sewer force mains and appurtenant structures within various public ways. North Street, Gilboa Street, Northeast Main Street in both Douglas and Uxbridge, and removal of an existing pump station on replacement with an energy efficient unit at parcel 138-44 on Gilboa Street. Town of Douglas Conservation Commission, 29 Depot Street, Douglas, Mass. 01516, legal notice for public hearing pursuant to Mass General Laws, Chapter 131, Section 40, Massachusetts Wetlands Protection Act, and the Town of Douglas Conservation Commission will hold a public hearing on Monday, March 7th, 2022 at 7 p.m. for a notice of intent filed by the Douglas Water and Sewer Department located at 29 Charles Street, Douglas, Mass. For work to be done pursuant to the Town of Douglas Wetland Bylaw and the Wetland Protection Act, Mass General Law 131, Section 40. The proposed work is located at North Street, Gilboa Street, and Northeast Main Street in Douglas and Lackey Dam Road in Uxbridge, Mass. and involves the installation of new water main and sewer force mains and appurtenant structures within various public ways, North Street, Gilboa Street, Northeast Main Street, in both Douglas and Uxbridge, Mass., and the removal of an existing pump station and replacement with an energy efficient unit at parcel 138-44 on Gilboa Street. Public participation will be available by attending the meeting at the Town of Douglas Municipal Center located at 29 Depot Street, Douglas, Mass. or pursuant to Governor Baker's June 16, 2021 order suspending certain provisions of the Open Meeting Law, General Law, Chapter 30A, Section 18. The public may participate in this meeting via remote participation. Website for the meeting will be provided on the conservation agenda posted on the town's website at least 48 hours prior to the meeting. Copies of the notice of intent may be examined electronically by contacting the Conservation Commission at 508-476-4000, extension 205, February 23rd, 2022. Okay. Who is presenting for this project? Name and address, please.
Good evening. My name is Michelle Sindo from Stantec Consulting, and my Stantec home address is 300 Pound Colony Road, Suite 110 in Quincy, Massachusetts.
Thank you. Tell us about your project.
Sure. And just to introduce the team, I have here with me Varesh Deuce, who is on the project planning and design aspect of the team, and she's here to kind of give an overview of the project and kind of introduce the technical aspects of it, and then I'll follow up with just some specifics about work in the resource areas and everything like that. Steve, just to confirm, did you receive our abutter notification package a little bit earlier today? I just want to make sure you got that for the record.
Yeah, he was still missing the green cards, I think, and he seems to be offline.
Oh, okay. I did send that in a package.
No, I don't think I did.
Okay, I can again. I did send that in a package. Do you need me to call it up just as proof of notification?
Well, I usually go through. You know what time you sent that?
Did you happen to scan the green cards?
That's correct. Yeah, we scanned every.
Oh, okay.
The return receipt cards that were sent, and then whatever green cards we had received as of about noon today.
Okay, so electronically you submitted them to Steve?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Okay. Yeah, well, you know what I got because of the way Office 365. I saw your last email with the response to the DEP comments. It must have been embedded below that. So.
Just below that. Mm-hmm.
So that was cool.
Those embedded links, those documents.
Can't do it. Can't deal with it.
Get lost. Okay, sorry about that. Continue. Yep, you're all set.
That's fine. Okay. So we're here on behalf of the Douglas Water and Sewer Department, and we filed this notice of intent for a public water and sewer force main infrastructure project. As you mentioned in the introduction, it's on Gilboa Street, Northeast Main, Charles, and it continues, a little piece of the water continues into Uxbridge. We filed this notice of intent because there are two sections of the project that are not exempt. The majority of the project is exempt under the Wetlands Protection Act from filing because it's completely within the roadway, involves just cut and cover of the public utility, trenching, backfill the same day, close the work, move on to the next section. But we filed a notice of intent for two specific areas of the project. One is a section of the water main on Northeast Main Street, and that is in a flood zone A. And then the other piece of the work that triggers the notice of intent, why we're here tonight, is the pump station work, which is on Gilboa Street. And that work is both within riverfront area and a flood zone AE, BLSF, with a flood zone elevation of 323. So I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself here with too many details, but let me hand it over to my colleague Fareshta, who's the engineer, and she's just going to present you the overview of the project, and then I'll jump back in.
Thank you.
Hi everyone, my name is Fareshta Dusak-Stantek, and I'm the project manager of designing the water and sewer and pump station for this project. And can I share my screen?
Yes.
Let me know when you can see my screen.
Yeah, it should be all set.
Okay. So I'm going to just talk about the overall project. This is the USGS map of the town of Douglas and Oxbridge here.
Sorry. Sorry.
No, we're not seeing it.
Do you think you have it on your other monitor? There you go.
You can see it now?
Yes.
Yep, thanks.
Okay. So the blue lines are the water main. So we're gonna replace the 8 inches water main in Northeast Main Street, about 2,600 feet. The 6 inch would be replaced with 12-inch water main. The North Street, we're replacing 1,300 of 12 inches with 16-inch water main. And this is Gilboa Street and Lackey Dam. So the blue again is water. We're replacing 2,800 feet of 6-inch water main with 12-inch water main. And the red line is the pump station, and the green is the force main, sanitary force main. So we're gonna have a 2,600 of 6-inch force main in the Gilboa, and in Lackey Dam Road about 2,600 feet of 12 inches water main. That's a new water main, no replacement. The other area, there are small pipes that we're gonna remove and replace with bigger pipe. But this area is a new water main, and the green is 4-inch force main, about 3,400 and couple of like 600 feet of gravity. So this is the overall project area, and I have the detail of the design. So if you're interested in any location, we're gonna go in detail in those. But these are all the water main remove and replace in the street with the hydrants and service connections. This is the North Street. This is Northeast Main Street, again, remove and replace of the existing water main. And the areas of the wetland that we marked, if you have any question or you want to zoom in, Michelle is going to talk about those later.
If we could focus on the jurisdictional areas and the DEP comment areas, that would be great, zooming in on the applicable portions of the project.
Okay, so Michelle.
First, if you could just go back to where you were.
Okay, then we come back here and I send it to you, right?
If you could just show me, just go back to the Northeast Main Street that you were just showing them. We'll just start there. Okay, yeah. So that, let's see, the best way to describe this is this area is just roadway work for the water main. But it is part of the notice of intent filing because it's within a FEMA National Flood Hazard Layer A, which is doesn't have a baseline flood elevation, but it does overlap the work in the road. And just while we're in this section, so again, that's just work in the roadway. with a cut and cover. But while we're in this area, Mass DEP's comments when they issued their file review was that the sedimentation control appeared to go down the bank through the river and over the other bank. That was just a little bit of a CAD error. So we just adjusted that there in CAD to show that our intent was not to do any work in the resource areas, and that the sedimentation control will just hug the roadway and be between the resource area and the work in the roadway. So these are revised plans that we are just presenting to you this evening. We sent you just a little while ago. Okay. And then, sorry, questions about that section before we move to the pump station parcel?
Should I move to the pump station?
I just wanted questions. Didn't have any questions about that area?
No.
Okay. So yeah, first if you could just.
Okay. So I keep going. This is Gilboa Street. We're going to connect to existing water main and put the water main replace the water main, and then the force main for pump station is in this area. Everything we did in the road, we show the profile for the pump station and sanitary sewer. Again, the force main comes all the way to next sheet to this pump station. But since this is really small in here, we zoom to another sheet.
If we just have a zoom in of that.
In here, I'm going to show that. So this is the existing site of the pump station. Right now they have a pump station, underground pump station with electrical and control panels. So we're replacing the existing pump station with a new one-lift pump station with duplex pump and control panel and generator in the same site. And this is the site plan for the pump station. So the existing pump station is here. We're gonna put a new pump station. And again, those are one-lift pump station that we dig in the hole, put the pump station, and do the site work around this. 100-year flood elevation is up here and down this area. So in here, to pump station not get flooded, we have it at elevation 324.5. So when the area, if you get 100-year flood elevation, the hatch or access hatch to the pump station, it would be above the flood elevation. So. And I'm gonna go to this here, shows the pump station. This is the pump station, the pumps and valve and bypass pumping. And what you see would be only like, this is the existing. This line here is existing elevation. Right now it's 323.8. We're gonna have this 8 inches above that, so the water doesn't get to the pump station during the flood. But everything else is underground. It's precast concrete, everything's all set, tested, and they bring and put it in there.
This is all in a building though, is it not?
No buildings, all underground.
If you go back to the last slide, can you just tell me what the big square is that's around the whole generator?
Oh, this is the generator. We're gonna have above ground generator.
Yeah.
And this is the control panel. And what you see around it is the fence. We're gonna fence the area and there is a gate. So no building.
And that's a bit bigger area though than what's currently fenced, is that correct?
Yes. Right now, the fence area is in this area, but we're not gonna fill any of, the front end area of the river.
There's no grade
We're
change
gonna
where
keep
you're...
the same kind of elevation.
That's no grade change, there's no proposed fill in the BLSF.
Yeah, and that was one of DEP's comments.
Yeah, just let to,
And then,
yeah,
yep.
to clarify that. Would you like me to read the Mass DEP's comment into the record, Madam Chair?
Sure.
Okay. Mass DEP's comments on their review letter was the project narrative states that there will be 144 cubic feet of permanent loss of storage in bordering land subject to flood, BLSF. Please update the impacts listed on page 3 of the NOI and provide additional information on how the project conforms to 310 CMR 10.57 subsection 4 performance standards for BLSF, including additional information on how compensatory flood storage, C310 CMR 10.57 4A. And our response was, for lack of a better description, we had a typo in the narrative. So the narrative was presented incorrectly. So what we want to clarify here in the public hearing is that there is no fill proposed in the BLSF. Our 320, luckily in this area, FEMA does have a baseline flood elevation, so we know with certainty that the BLSF is at 323. And so there's no proposed fill in that area, so no compensatory storage was needed. Verified that on our memo, and the plans that you're looking at are our revised plans, just to clarify that 323 contour and to show that our work is outside the BLSF and no permanent fill, no fill.
But there is grading and there is a new driveway, it looks like. And is that a paved driveway? And that's how close is that to the wetland?
So, sure, Christian, can you zoom out? I'm going to give them a little bit of a bigger overall of the resource areas that we're dealing with here besides floodplain in this area. So as for, can you zoom out just a little bit? Or
Is good.
the plan above? I just want to give that an overview because we kind of zoomed in quickly on them. Yeah, just there with
This one or?
back to, okay, that's a good place to start. Okay, so you see that kind of dense black square there? That's our pump station. And what you're seeing here is the Mumford River in blue. There's a portion of it that is impounded, so it's just got bank and a little bit of BBW in places, but then below the dam, it resumes riverine characteristics, so it becomes without mean annual high water line, which sets the 200-foot riverfront area, which reaches, of course, across Gilboa Street onto the next parcel, and then there's actually an overlapping riverfront area. First, can you page to the next sheet down, please? There we go. You can see, yeah, a portion of Gilboa Brook runs, and then so there's a kind of a confluence of the riverfront area. So we're definitely in the riverfront area for the pump station, and I showed you where the BLSF is, and then there's of course a 100-foot buffer zone to the bank of the Mumford River. So that's where we are there on that parcel.
Mark, does that answer your question? So as far as the additional or expansion of disturbance in that area, what does that entail? We're considering this as a temporary disturbance, correct?
No, I think the parking area is permanently associated with that site. I think that's Mark's concern.
That is my concern.
Right now, there is a parking area.
Right.
In that area, let me see if actually.
Yeah, so I'm looking for any additional expansion of that area.
Parking area.
See, this is like when they drive here, they park to do that work at the pump station. Right now, we proposed for regrind asphalt driveway for that area.
I see. Okay.
And, you know, it would be like easier for the town to plow and just park there. And it's about 10 feet, maybe 10 feet away from the river, this area.
So the existing driveway area or U area, is that getting expanded beyond what is disturbed at this moment?
No, it's just the same type of footprint.
Okay.
And we're gonna leave that. If it's a grass area or dirt, we're not gonna touch that.
Okay.
This area all the same. Just where they come and park the car, town would like to have regrind asphalt driveway. And the pump station site, we're gonna put gravel surface, like they're gonna pick up 12 inches or 8 inches of the soil in here and put the gravel surface. So it's gonna match the existing grade. We're not gonna fill any area.
You say in there, completely within the fence?
Yeah, just within the fence. Outside the fence, it's gonna be just whatever it is, like some grass area,
Natural vegetation.
some vegetation. We're not gonna touch that. We're gonna just put that area.
So is that called out on any of the plans?
Yeah.
Is there a detail of,
Regrinds
is that C 110?
Is there a detail of the regrind
Yeah.
blade?
Yeah, it's C 110. I've got it here, I think. So, do we have a big set? Mark, there's a, hey Mark, there's a big set there. So if you go to C 110, you can see the site plan for that. It's hard to tell the existing versus the proposed.
I think this sheet is existing, but it doesn't have, like, because it was dirt and grass area in here, doesn't have the limit of that. They just draw their park, and town owns the land, so.
For sure.
This is the existing one.
It's just
It is
how it
the
comes out
degree
there.
of topsoil in areas, and that idea, I just want to emphasize, the idea is not to go any closer to the river than the current disturbance.
Right, yeah, that's where I was going with that. So no expansion, no increase towards the resource. Because I'm just not sure if you're doing all this activity there, I'm not sure how it's not gonna get disturbed. If everybody's running it over and there's a bunch of, you know, demolishing the existing pump station, even parking and being in that area, we don't wanna.
There should be a limit of work.
There is a limit of work.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, this dark line is the limit of the book.
Oh, okay. I got confused with that.
And then and the other one is the fence.
Okay, no, that makes sense.
So everything's within the fence, within limit of that dark line. Nothing goes beyond that. The only thing they would go and put is, you know, compost filter tube.
Yeah.
So that'll serve as a temporary, during construction limit of work, and then after the project is done, they'll be limited with where they work and, have maintenance vehicles and do routine maintenance, everything within the footprint of the fence itself.
Right.
And that is to kind of formalize what goes on there and kind of restrict the activities from expansion.
Yeah, so we're just doing regrind very close, 10 feet from the bank. So as far as the material goes, as far as runoff, are you ensuring that there's going to be no runoff of oils into the stream, into the river? It's close compared to gravel now, natural gravel. I understand the thought process behind it, but it does look like you're making a parking area versus just a little turnaround.
Right.
Right. I understand. There are definitely pros and cons with the regrind asphalt versus the gravel. I really understand what you're saying. The thought process here is, that, to formalize the area, to give them a turnaround place, and to not have kind of constant movement
That's a whole square.
that they have to just repeat anyway or replenish, from time to time, to just have this formalized area. And then not go any closer to the river. Do not anticipate an increase in the stormwater runoff than current.
The material, the regrind material, if you could just speak to that, because you are squaring this off. It appears like you're expanding the existing gravel little turnaround with a rectangle of parking area that is 13 feet by 35 feet. So how are you, is that the application, have you covered that permanent disturbance anywhere?
Oh, you mean in terms of accounting for the number?
Yeah.
Yes, let me put a page to that part of the notice of intent, and I can confirm that for you, but yes.
So it's not like you're asking for permission to expand, you're actually asking for the permit to do the work.
Permit to do the work, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, please.
Just so that the board understands, right now it's kind of like a little gravelly U-turn, and they're doing the 13 by 35 with the horseshoe portion.
So we have a total.
So there's no berm around this. These are just the runoff goes, the way it's existing surface.
But the existing surface is not regrind. That's what I'm trying to understand.
Yeah,
So the runoff should not be, it's oils and asphalt grinding, tailings. Yeah.
Right.
First, look at the grades. I just want to look at the grades here.
You got a 323 at the top, and then you have a 322 about 15 feet away. Maybe less. I'm looking at this.
Yeah. We did include a stormwater management checklist and plan stamped by Gina Britton, who's the professional engineer, the engineer of record on it, attesting to no further runoff. We haven't proposed any proprietary, swales or anything like that to formalize the area. And I do have the numbers for you. So for riverfront, so again, there's no BLSF impacts, but there is a disturbance of 3,700 square feet to the riverfront area, and that would be inner riparian zone disturbance, and that would be the riverfront areas to Lumber River.
Okay, and the alternatives analysis was submitted?
Yes.
Okay, and DP obviously did not have an issue with that, so that's good.
And one thing, the Thresher can cover this in more detail, but this new pump station is an upgrade with new technology, and it's going to have protections, and it's kind of got all the updated engineering for protections, for resiliency, when it comes to protecting the town's pump supply. And Percy, can you speak to that a little bit more?
Yeah. This is the pump station we're gonna use. This is the precast pump station, and it's gonna be like waterproof, and the pump's gonna be in here, and the pipe with the force main. The only thing you see out there is that 8 inches above the ground with the access hatch and the vent. And for removing the pumps, there is an access hatch. So when they drive here, the truck comes back up, and if they have to remove any of those pumps for repair, they can just pull it up and drive back and take it to, repair. And this is, the old pump station is, the pipes are very old, the pumps, and with lots of new warehouses in the town that they need water and sewer, so those pumps could not pump the sewer. So we replace it with bigger pump and generator backup and the new system pump station. And that's gonna be one lift pump station. That's gonna go in there. Everything will be underground. Then what you see would be just the hatch with control panel. This is another project, of course, but that's gonna be what you see outside.
Okay. So as far as the increase.
And this is the detail.
The increase of the impervious within 10 feet from the bank. Can we go back to that? So your justification for that, yes.
My understanding is that the water and sewer department would just like that for sort of a formal area to park, to maintain, for easy access and egress back out onto the road. It is a pretty busy road.
Exactly. It was hard to put the gate in here for the trucks to come and back up because it's a very busy road, and that's what they use, and they own this lot. So this is per their recommendation that if you can use the regrind asphalt, so when the truck comes, their pickups usually, and turn around, it would be a nice area to park, check on the pump station, and have the gate.
Right, so it's a 13 by 35 foot. How many people are going to be checking on this pump at one time? It appears as though it's a parking lot. So I just want to understand, in accordance with the Wetlands Protection Act, what is your justification for getting so close with regrind versus today it's a very small gravel area?
Yeah, in case they have to come and check on the pumps and maintain the generator or electric control panel, usually someone from the town definitely needs to come open the access hatch.
But does it need to be so wide?
The electrical engineer from our office or someone else's, and mechanical for the pumps. So it may be 3 people or 4 people each have their own car. So not parking next to the road, that would be safe to have a couple places for the car, and in case they have to replace the pumps for any issue, the trucks come, needs to turn around, back up, get the pumps, and go. And again, maintenance guy from the town should be able to park here.
Okay, so at this moment, the gravel area that is in existence is how close to the bank?
This gravel area?
No, the existing one.
Because I can't see an existing conditions plan unless you can point me to the right page.
And I'm sorry, do you mean the pump itself or the?
No.
No,
Just the parking area.
Little
Sorry.
parking area.
Yep.
This is the existing, and again, we don't have any places to show that area because it's just the dirt and existing. This one is gonna be like.
Well, you showed a picture of it. You want to bring that up?
Yeah, I was gonna suggest the same thing. Bring the picture up.
This.
I've been to the site. The main water line and bank is right down below the tree line, where you can see that's a fairly steep bank. And just back to your question about concern over the say like a crushed stone versus the asphalt that's being the regrind asphalt that's being proposed. The thought is just that the maintenance that is accompanied by the crushed stone and just kind of having to continually maintain it, possibly getting pushed closer to the river. There will be a fence there, but that's just what the town wishes to do. So that's what we proposed to make the operation go as smoothly as possible.
Okay, so how are we protecting the bank from the runoff? And why is the parking area so large for probably 6 cars to park there at one time? Now, that's also, this is gonna be fully enclosed with a gate? With a double gate?
Yes. Yeah, this gate will be closed all the time.
Can you,
So the parking area that you're referring to is not gated, is not fenced in.
right, so anyone could park there if it looks attractive.
That's
Well,
exactly,
I can tell you they all park there now.
they all park there now.
So that's actually where all that worn out area is mostly from other people parking their fish. They pull in and they actually drive further down,
Okay.
closer to the.
And that's why.
Sorry, name and address from the audience. 1 second, ladies. Yeah.
So Bob Sullivan, the Water Sewer Systems Manager.
Okay, so, you're here, you're understanding our concern. I'm hearing that it's just a want from the town.
Well, it was more that, I know originally they had proposed paving it, and I assumed you'd have an issue with full pavement, so I figured regrind is more permeable.
It eventually becomes impervious anyway, so, I would,
Can we put a
I wouldn't have it either way.
parking, no public parking sign in here, 1 or 2?
it doesn't,
No, I don't want to do
It's
that.
not gonna,
So they had talked about putting gravel in there, and if one of the guys goes in and tries to plow out a path so they have access to the pump station, chances are they're gonna be plowing gravel so it ends up in the river as you continually push it up there. So we thought that the regrind would be less likely to be plowed into the river, and it would be easier to maintain going in and out.
I mean, I would almost, my opinion is cut it down and pave it, because then you don't have the regrind moving around and seeping and.
If you're fine with asphalt, then I'm fine with that as well.
What about reducing the size?
So I think part of the issue was when you're trying to pull in there, you got a telephone pole in the middle. So
Move the telephone pole.
And I think there's discussion about moving telephone poles with the other project.
Yeah,
So I know that they were discussing moving 3 telephone poles
okay,
with the CRG project.
Okay.
I don't think they've come before you yet, but I think you have seen some there.
Because you're kind of close, we've got the Google Maps up, and that's what we keep looking at. Is like, we can see how it's the edge of the guardrail,
Right, so the
an opening,
guardrail,
a
telephone
pole,
and
the
fence.
next opening, and then the fence starts.
Right.
So like, I get where you are, that it's awkward in there, so if the justification's a turnaround spot, it looks like it's turning into a parking area, and I think to your point, with the berm to control the runoff would also help with your unauthorized parking situation, because it would limit them from potentially parking along the river further down the way, because you can see where that's worn out too.
Like
I would prefer that as well, because like I said, I see people driving up there and they park all along.
They're way up there, yeah, I
Way
know,
up.
I've seen that, and you can see that the grass is worn because the picture was taken in the fall.
yeah, is it in the budget?
To pave it, I'm sure that would be a minor
Okay.
adjustment to this.
I mean, I would almost, and you're catching the runoff from, if you did berm it.
Pave it, berm it, and make it a tick smaller?
So we just need to be able to make sure we can get a lift truck in there if we need to
Yeah.
come in with a boom
You
truck
don't
to
have
pull
a
the box.
fence, you can just go on the grass,
Under the
right?
grass.
Anywhere around.
Well, I'm just saying if it's muddy or something, I mean, I'm sure you've had those types of trucks in the past.
Park on the street.
Yeah,
Yeah,
police
try and-
detail on the street.
Honestly, there's way more room on the street anyways.
Okay, and then speaking to the size. So we've got a rectangle that's 13 by 35, and then the horseshoe. So what's the minimum dimensions that would be suitable. So I'm doing,
So I feel like my recommendation, and nobody but the people in the room can see this, because I'm gonna point to the screen. Could you take this lump off? Or is that's the length of the truck with the boom? Is that the reason?
That's what I'm assuming. You'd pull up this way and then back in with the truck.
Right, you have to come from Douglas side, come in and pull forward and then back up to the
Correct.
station. So you kind of need some of that length,
Okay.
but I don't know if you need the width.
You don't know
The
if we
width.
need to go this close. You
Correct.
think this could shrink up this direction?
the 13?
Yeah, here, I can let you point too.
No, it's all right, you're doing a good job.
Okay. You think that the 13 feet is listed here, if we shrunk this down to say 10, that would still be suitable?
I would think so, I think that you could do that.
Okay, the rectangle will be revised to a 10 by 35.
And the surface would go to a pavement with a berm.
Well, I thought you needed the 35, the length. Yeah, I got the paved asphalt with a berm.
But you would keep the 35 if that's the length you need for the truck.
And
Any issues?
Is it reduced 13 to 10? I don't think so.
okay, I just have a question about the berm, because we do have to be careful with our floodplain, our VLSF elevation here.
Okay.
So we would want to be careful, and that's part of why we didn't put any kind of berming or anything. We want to be careful not to fill. Could somebody just explain a little bit better where you're talking about the berm between?
At least along the bank side, so that it's not heading straight down the erosion.
You want to see it more direct?
We could slope it to the side.
Or you can slope the entire paved area, but that's theoretically grading. I just thought the berm would be easier, and I would have thought that the cubic footage of a berm would be almost negligible in terms of floodplain management. You know, I'm picturing something like just how the edge of the road is yeah.
Like a
The
Cape
road
Cod
comes like
berm.
this and
Cape
this.
Cod.
Yes, not the tall one.
Yeah, not a form
What is it?
berm.
Yeah.
Right, a nice,
Yeah.
a sloped one in case the truck does have to come over the edge.
There's a catch basin right on the road, right
Yep,
there. And
it's
the road
there.
is curved.
Correct.
So you have to hop the curb to get into this driveway. There's no curb.
Oh.
No, there is not.
Currently
Neither
off the
side.
curb, yeah.
Oh, okay.
It was designed to be maintained from the road.
Keep pushing that. Okay, so
So you want that berm along the road to stay there. That's like
Yeah.
4 or 6 inches berm. And then around this area, you need a berm also?
No, not along, yeah, no.
On the,
So just on the stream side.
yeah, where you're,
Just parallel to the river.
Yeah.
Like to keep the water from going directly off the parking area towards the river.
To prevent erosion and get
you have a
some-
truck that's
some
leaking for
filtration.
whatever reason.
yeah,
Some filtration before it gets to the river.
correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll have to look at some kind of
Yes, we'll have to
swale.
look at the grades.
Okay.
So we can grade this to go to that catch basin. That's what you want?
No, we didn't say that. I was just saying that there is a catch basin there, and if you can use it, sure. But we are also saying that it would be okay for the water to go towards the east, just off the end of the parking area.
I would probably recommend towards the east because that catch basin is going to go directly to the river.
I wondered that.
So-
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I still don't understand the exact location of the berm that you're talking about.
Where your pointer is
Along
there,
the
head
35 foot.
Yeah.
towards. Yeah, but stay up closer to where you're, well, reduce by another, 5 feet?
Yeah.
So go 5 feet closer to the road instead of where your existing pavement ends or regrind.
Well,
Yeah,
we can go
at the
right where
limit of work.
pavement ends now, because we're moving it 33 feet.
Yeah.
Steve, while they're doing that, any comments or
Just
questions?
turn like this.
Even closer.
At the limit.
Closer to the road.
And we'll have to look at the grades and everything a little bit better and see where to best direct the water.
This plan does not show any vegetation on it, any existing vegetation, and looking at that photo, there was quite a bit of existing vegetation on the western side.
There are trees.
We're not gonna disturb that area, like this area, there's things, like,
What's that? Those are not.
we're not gonna disturb this area. So this is gonna be vegetated,
I mean, we're not cutting trees or woody vegetation.
shrubs or anything.
How do I know that, looking at that plan? Because I don't see any of those trees on the plan. How can I be confident of that?
Because those trees are outside the limit of work.
Yeah,
But they don't show on the plan, and where it's the river is right there. I don't understand how they can be outside the limit of work. When the river is 5 feet away from the fences. Sean?
Yeah. It is a little tricky to the eye, that picture, because it's a very steep slope, so some of those trees are kind of like right
at the edge.
And then a little bit down towards the river.
Well, can you add those to the plan for us, please?
We can approximate it, sure.
I don't want an approximation. I want you to add those trees to the plan.
Well, or she could do all existing vegetation to remain in these areas and make a note. I think you were saying the area of disturbance is not affecting any of the vegetation in the immediate area. But, I mean, you could even do like some kind of, call out for labeling and say this area is there's no, but you could also put on the plan, no tree clearing, no vegetation clearing as a note. And that could be a condition also.
The survey just didn't pick up the tree line in that spot, so, but yeah, absolutely put that kind of note here.
Question.
All right, my next point is that on the eastern corner of the fence, it seems like it's hanging over the bank towards the river. Is there any way that that fence line can be moved away from the river bank? Is there a reason why there needs to be so much distance from the generator and the whatever that other thing is?
Yeah, the fence, 5 feet requirement. Let me talk to our electrical engineer and see if that's the code minimum 5 feet, or we can go to like 3 feet or 2 feet.
I would actually prefer just to keep the 5, I'm almost positive it's 5 feet from structure, so.
Yeah, that's
I think that is overruled, or we're overruled on that. The generator, I mean, 5 feet versus 3 feet, you're getting 2 feet. I mean, it's not gonna make, it's a negligible difference.
It's hanging over the bank.
Which portion?
The corner of the fence here is like 3 feet away from the river bank and hanging over the edge. It's probably
then
2 feet elevation difference.
Then we probably need to move the, move that electrical.
Yeah, let me talk to our electrical engineer. He was at the site to locate this, to see if we can move that control panel and generator a little bit further and move this fence over there. Or he may say, no, it was like, you can see it from here, but maybe it's right at the edge.
Is the fence allowed to have like a little jut in it?
So I was about to say, can you 45 the fence in the back instead of squaring it off?
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering, if that's allowed.
Just come across on an angle to where the gate opens.
Sure.
Something like this.
Correct.
Yeah, right. I thought that was a code thing.
It probably is.
Yeah, I'll stay in my lane with wetlands and permitting though.
Again, that 5 feet from this side and this side, I'm sure that needs to be 5 feet too, so I can't have a job there. But again, I can talk to the electrical engineer about this code, the minimum requirement, and see if we can, because we didn't build it yet, so this is final design. We can, you know, move this if needed.
So back to that corner. Is it hanging over the bank? Is it at the bank?
No, I think this is kind of flat area, 322, the slope starting this area.
Yeah, we have, most of it's 2-foot contours, but we have 1-foot contours in that area due to some additional survey specifically for the flood zone. So the topo is a little bit tighter in there, and it not actually hanging over the bank.
How many feet are we from the bank to the fence? Because there's also a limit of work shown in that dark solid line, and then the fence is within there.
Yeah, it's about 5 feet.
Yeah, it's just limited space to work with in there, in that little,
Yeah.
between the roadway and the river, we're kind of jammed in.
So, wait, there's 5 feet between the generator and the fence, and you're telling me there's an additional 5 feet between the fence and the edge of the riverbank?
Uh-huh.
I think they changed, you changed the topos? You changed the scale?
The scale?
Yeah, so if I measure 5 feet, you're into the wetland on the 5 feet from the
Right.
fence. I'm gonna have to get.
See, if that's 5 feet from generator to here, from fence to there is another 5 feet. So from this edge to generator is 10 feet. And again, don't forget it's a big drop here.
Oh.
Vertical.
Okay. Put the vertical drop? Okay, 1 second, please.
There it is. Good job.
So fence.
So that's 5 feet.
Doesn't appear scalable to me. If I even just take the 5-foot line, it's not. It's definitely like 3 feet, I think, or 2 feet. Unless there's an optical illusion with the vertical drop.
No, I think I could get a ruler and do the same thing.
Okay.
Yeah, you're correct, that bottom right corner is closer to the bank than the fence line further to the west.
Right.
Yeah, I would want to know the thought process. Bob, do you know the thought process behind the placement of the generator and the electrical enclosure?
I think it's more just.
I think we can play with this location. I can move this back a little further as long as we can open the gate. Make sure when they open it, it doesn't hit the electrical. So, or we make this sliding gate.
There's the gate thing.
Oh.
That's why that's where that is, because of the gate.
gate.
But she just said
Yeah.
theoretically you could make it a sliding gate. And then it wouldn't.
So if
I don't know
this
that you have
sliding gate, so we
to
can
get a
move
sliding
this.
gate to go back.
And when they open it, it doesn't hit, slides.
A giant hinge gate.
An invisible one.
Well, it lifts up.
We have that at Electric Boat. It's terrifying.
I would just worry about a sliding gate. If you slid it towards the river, then it's cutting trees and stuff to maintain so that they don't get in the way.
Well, you put so much gravel down, I don't understand how that would be an issue.
I think we need to be really clear on the direction. And any other members want to say anything right now?
Do we ever get a DEP number on this?
Yes, we do have it.
You know what it is?
Yes. It's,
It wasn't on my sheet.
yeah, I've got it.
Thank you.
So I was really trying to get to conditioning.
Town gonna get help paying for this, Bob?
Are we getting help to pay for this? Yes. We're hoping to have no expense to the ratepayers.
Great.
This is part of the project that we got the $3 million MassWorks grant.
Nice.
So $3 million of it is from MassWorks. We're going for another $3.3 million from EDA. We should be hearing about that anytime now, so that would be 6.3 of it, and then we've got contractors, some of the two
developers.
proposed developers contributing a major portion of the rest of it.
Right, I would think so. It's done in.
Yeah, self-demo.
So it's a nice addition to the town, plus full overlay along the whole project area, so.
We'll put the electrical box over there. No, then it's on top of the gas.
The old one didn't have
You
a
can put the
generator,
electric
right?
box on the gas line.
No, I had a plug, but it never
I
worked
don't think
right.
so.
So.
No, the gas company.
I don't know if you noticed that that's one of
Have an
the
electrical
electrical
box?
panels like this. If you drive by, look at the electrical panels.
I
I
haven't
don't know, I
So they must
put
have-
water right next to a
when
nuclear
they set it,
reactor. I
it
don't know
must
why
have
you
just
can't put an
kinda
electric box.
Sunk,
next to a
it's
gas
been like
line.
that ever since. So.
And it just says gas. No, a lot of, is the gas line to the generator, that's a natural gas generator?
That's what we're
Yes.
proposing, because
Yeah.
as part of this project, they're also
The gas
proposing
line
to bring.
is
I don't know the
installed
gas line.
on Gilboa Road.
Otherwise, they'd have a diesel tank.
Correct.
They're not.
So I prefer the gas line.
Yeah, they're not gonna put it on, you can't put it on top of the gas line.
You can't put the electrical box on top of a gas line?
No.
Oh,
Tracy,
Yes?
quick question.
Yes?
So the pump chamber itself is underground?
Correct.
Yes.
How far are you into groundwater at all?
this is a different
Maybe.
question.
Or is there
No.
provisions for, you're gonna have to be dewatering during the project?
They did borings. I didn't look at the results from the borings.
If it gets flooded, they do
Oh,
the water.
perform test pit and confirm water main, location and depth. There was a pit over here. Oh,
There's
what
a
do we,
detail for dewatering.
yeah, B1 and B2?
Then we have detail.
Do we have the high groundwater results for B1 and B2?
Let me see if we show it there.
And as you're bringing up the dewatering, Steve, what did you want to say about that?
As long as they have provisions, if they're dewatering,
Okay,
so close to the river.
okay.
So I know there's dewatering provisions in the plans.
Yeah, we have like groundwater elevation is about
I know he's
13
this
feet
later.
below grade, and pump station is going to be 16, so we need the dewatering. We had some details.
Okay, so I think we need to move forward. So you're gonna be doing some revisions, or can we condition this?
Well, I think we adequately talked through the parking area, but I still think that we haven't, that they need to do some work to answer the fence. I think the parking area I would have been happy with if it was just that, but I don't think we can resolve the fence tonight, unfortunately.
Well, we need to tell them exactly what, so anything better than where the fence is located right now is good?
I'd like to see at least 2 feet better.
Okay.
They need to check with the electrical contractor and the code.
Yeah.
Okay, so
We've asked them.
here, if we move it like 2-3 feet closer,
Yep,
and then I move these two,
Yeah.
and then probably I'm gonna move the gate if you're, someone I've heard they're not interested in the sliding gate. So I can move the gate further so it doesn't hit this.
the
So I
way
think I
it's
can
drawn,
play
it
with
looks like
this
there's room to
too.
move the gate.
Looks like, why did you just move it like
Right.
this? Yeah, if you're just sliding it over to the right, you know, as you're looking at it.
I would be happy with that, yes.
Okay. And then
Have the
the,
gate swing out?
You can, do
Oh.
you want that?
I'm just saying it would
Why not?
alleviate.
Yeah.
It would
the issue of
help
moving the
me, I didn't
electrical
know if
van,
that was
but
another
swing it
code
out,
thing, if you
and then-
can't get in or out in the event of a fire, you're outside already, I guess.
I'll say it's.
You're already outside.
yeah, I
Jump
don't
the
think,
fence.
yeah, so outswing maybe.
Yeah, we can do outswing and then we can move this further and move the fence 2-3 feet.
There you
Yeah.
go. There you go.
Oh, I don't have a problem with that.
And you
Okay,
do
well then
this,
why don't we just, so 3 feet, moving
Yeah.
the fence 3 feet as a condition?
And do 10 by 35,
Yep. Paved.
paved instead of asphalt, right?
Oh, instead of regrind, you prefer
What?
I want to see what the
pavement.
first one. I feel like we've gone through like 4 different things that we're asking to make changes.
Yeah.
And so I'd like to see it before I want to just condition it.
I don't see, I mean, it's pretty straightforward. What was the other location?
Drainage, talked about berm, talked about
Northeast Maine.
fence, talked about shifting items within their plan. There's a lot going on there.
Can we go to the other sensitive area, please?
Michelle, where's the
Because we've got to wrap this up.
sure. Madam Chair, do you mean to the Northeast Main Street
Yes.
work in?
Yes.
Could you navigate to page up above this one at North Main Street, or Northeast Main Street, excuse me? Right at the corner, yeah, there we go.
Which page?
That's Gilboa. Let me get to this.
That,
Right.
yeah. Forester, which page is that?
5.
These numbers for you.
5.
And this is all the roadway work.
I think. No, try the first one. Okay, so it's just, okay. Open that one more. Nope, I was so hopeful.
Okay.
Ah, nice, thank you.
So are there any issues with this portion of the project? Mark?
Nope.
Okay. All right, so you'll get the revisions back to us. Anyone in the audience have questions or concerns regarding this hearing? Hearing none. Board? Question? Mike? Mark? Felix?
None.
Okay. I will entertain a motion to continue to March 21st, 2020 at 7 p.m.
So moved.
Motion made by Mark,
Seconded.
second by Katie Grace. All those in favor?
Eric Harris, aye.
Herb Moppin, aye.
Mark Montemani.
Casey Dudley, aye.
Okay, we will see you on the 21st.
Are you meeting to do a week before or 2 weeks before?
Week.
Thank you very much for your time.
You're welcome. Thank you.
It's 2 weeks before right now.
Stuff. Yeah, I know.
Okay. Thank you,
you.
everyone. Good night.
Thanks, Bob. Okay, next item. Notice of intent, 30 Shady Lane, septic repair, Ann Holden.
Have a good night. Thank you.
Thank you, good night.
Thank you.
Town of Douglas Conservation Commission, 29 Depot Street, Douglas, Mass. Legal notice for public hearing pursuant to Mass General Laws, Chapter 131, Section 40, Massachusetts Wetlands Protection Act. The Town of Douglas Conservation Commission will hold a public hearing on March 7th, 2022 at 7 p.m. for an NOI filed by Ann Holden located at 30 Shady Lane for work to be done pursuant to the Town of Douglas Wetland Bylaw and the Wetland Protection Act, Mass General Law 131, Section 40. The proposed work involves repair of an existing septic system. Proposed construction activities are within the 100-foot buffer zone of Whiting Reservoir. Public participation will be available by attending the meeting at the Town of Douglas Municipal Center located at 29 Depot Street, Douglas, Mass. Or pursuant to Governor Baker's June 16, 2021 order suspending certain provisions of the Open Meeting Law, General Law, Chapter 30A, Section 18. The public may participate in this meeting via remote participation. A website for the meeting will be provided on the conservation agenda, posted on the town's website at least 48 hours prior to the meeting. Copies of the NOI may be examined electronically by contacting the Conservation Commission at 508-476-4000, extension 205. Okay, who is presenting? Name and address, please.
Hello, everyone. Margaret Bacon, Civil Site Engineering, and I'm here representing Ann Holden for a septic repair at 30 Shady Lane.
Thank you.
Do you want me to bring up the plan?
Yes, please.
This was included in our packets.
Yes.
See that okay?
Yeah.
Yes. If you could zoom in, that would be wonderful.
Okay.
Sorry, I cannot see a thing.
No, it's better. A little.
Okay, you all set?
Yes.
Just on this 100 scale up here, just show you, because I couldn't fit it all on the 20 scale. The existing field is up here next to Shady Lane. D-box is right here. The forest main that goes underneath the garage they built years ago with the tanks, septic tank and pump chamber back here, okay? So that's the general overview. So basically, we looked at, here's the Whiting Reservoir, here's the existing tanks, pump chambers, force main underneath the garage, and into this D-box. Well, the system right now is in failure. The leach field is no longer absorbing any of the wastewater. So the pump chamber pumps up to this D-box, but then the D-box, just kind of spits it out under the ground here. So we looked at replacing the existing system where it is, but the only problem is I have this old force main that is underneath this existing garage. And when they built over the force main years ago. So the only other option, and then these tanks right here are buried by about 10 feet. So the other option would be to pump around this house and up through here. There's a lot of rock it would make trenching very difficult. It just didn't seem like a conducive repair fix for this existing system. So we were able to eliminate all this, put in a new system here. I'm outside the 50-foot buffer zone, and I was able to then eliminate these old tanks that are way too deep, and put in a new septic tank and have everything wrapped. So this is a much better design than what's out there now, and we'd like to get this thing fixed as soon as we can, and then contractors are ready to go, just waiting for the permit. But so like I said, what happens right now is now it just becomes a kind of a hazard now. She's having the tanks is pumped every couple of weeks, and that's quite an expense. And if she doesn't get it pumped in time, then it does pump up to this D box.
Okay,
So,
did you get approval from Board of Health?
All set from the Board of Health, yes.
Okay. All right, anyone in the audience have any questions or comments on this hearing? No, looks like everything's in order. We have the DEP number. Board? Questions? Eric? All right. Mike? Mark?
What's the red line at the top of the plan? Is it D something W or
It's the overhead wire.
overhead wire?
I have no questions, thank you.
Oh, welcome. I'll entertain a motion to close.
So moved.
Motion made by Art to close the public hearing. Second by Mike. All those in favor?
Eric Carrick's aye.
Art Poppy, aye.
Mike Greco, aye.
Mark Martin, aye.
KG Dudley, aye.
Okay. I'll entertain a motion to issue the order.
So moved.
Motion made by Art,
Second.
second by Mike. All those in favor?
Eric Carrick's aye.
Poppy, aye.
Greco, aye.
Mark Martin, aye.
KG Dudley, aye.
Okay, you're all set.
Hey, do you know when I could get the order of conditions?
Steve, did you draft that up? Is that the signable? The yellow one?
There's a pile.
Oh. You'll have to call tomorrow, ask for Jen.
Okay,
That's-
this repaired ASAP.
Yeah,
It's here.
okay, so it's drafted. We'll sign it. You can pick it up tomorrow. Thank you. Okay, next item, public meeting. That's not a public meeting, Steve. So there's a request for a certificate of compliance that should be under discussion for 48 Glen Street, Douglas Properties LLC. Is anyone here presenting on behalf of that application or the request?
Yeah, the last two are gonna go out because of snow cover,
The 48 Glen Street?
both of them.
Okay, all right, so we're gonna hold, and if you could just move that to discussion, Steve.
I will.
Thank you. So we're gonna hold on those two, and then the next one, 0 Mumford Road was misadvertised.
Can I just, before you go?
Yeah.
So those two requests for certificates of compliance, will they be on the next meeting?
Yes, the 21st.
Perfect. Okay,
Yes.
thank you.
You're welcome, thank you. So, I apologize that everyone waited to hear me say that it was not advertised correctly for the next public hearing. Wayne Bellick wrote in, said, "We are writing on behalf of Flynn Design, grant an extension. We've been informed today that T&G failed to post the ad, which was slated to run on 2/25 due to a production error, as noted in the email below. The ad will run on 3/11, informing the community of the public hearing to be held on March 21st. Our regrets for such short notice. We look forward to meeting with you on the 21st. So the public hearing for notice of intent, 0 Mumford Road and 5 Forest Street definitive subdivision plan, Sutton Douglas Development LLC, is going to be on the meeting for the 21st. They have also slated for this Thursday, March 10th at 7:20 for planning board. So they are going to have that meeting. So if anybody would like to attend the planning board meeting, that's also remote, that will open that day. So it will open on Thursday. Does anybody have any questions on that? So I'll see you guys on Thursday. Okay, board, we ready to roll?
Got a lot of voters to sign, I think, right?
Yep. So I'll entertain a motion.
I move that we adjourn at 8:55.
Okay, motion made by Art,
Second.
seconded by Eric. All those in favor?
Eric Harris, aye.
Art Monmouth, aye.
Mark Mudgemeyer.
KG Dudley, aye.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you, Caleb.